Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And this is the match preview for Everton's match against Brentford. And I'm recording this the day after the Merseyside derby. As you can imagine, that's kind of all I want to talk about. But we have to try and look ahead already. And I think that is going to be a little bit of a task, I think, for Deitch and for us supporters, really, having to turn our attention so quickly onto another game. Obviously, Deitch has already done his presser literally day after a game, and it's all coming really thick and fast at the moment. But we seem to be coping with things incredibly well now, and after a result like that, I think it's impossible not to feel uh, really good about this team, really. And about the direction we're going. I think I think we were in a position where we knew we kind of only needed a few more wins, and this is like what after we beat Burnley. Obviously, you have the disaster down at Chelsea, then you get a great win against Forest. Um, but like, even the most optimistic fans probably wasn't thinking we were going to get much in the derby, and yet that's another 3 points in the bag in amazing fashion. So, like I say, the position we're in now, I think, is very good. And in a way, I think there's going to be certain things we're going to do a little bit differently against Brentford, put it that way. Um, don't think Calvert-Lewin's going to play. I'd be surprised if he plays, seeing as he was, given a whole 90 against Liverpool when he was carrying an injury, he was ill, hadn't trained all week. It's come out. It's yeah, it's pretty crazy to be honest. Just the level of performance he put in. Um, and with Beto still being out due to the concussion protocol, I think that means I think I kind of have the hunch that Chimeti's going to start on Saturday against Brentford, and like I say, there was worries. I said it in the preview for the derby myself that we were going to have to maybe start Chimeti against that, and I didn't think it was the right decision if Calvert-Lewin could be risked. Based on the circumstances, I'm surprised Calvert-Lewin was risked. Um, but I say it's completely paid off, and it seems to me Calvert-Lewin's got a lot more trust in his body now. We had this issue where he was being rushed in quite a lot under Benitez and Lampard when he hadn't really fully recovered from injuries because we needed him, and it almost seemed like the first sign of uh pain coming back in that he almost like gave into it really and just kept going down, which doesn't seem to be happening much anymore, which is testament, I think, to Deitch and the way the medical staff have handled him in the last year or so. And I'd say he's flying again now. You look at that performance against Liverpool, probably one of the best he's put in a shirt for us. And I've always stuck by him. I know, like, obviously he's had a very difficult season this year, and a lot of people getting on his back and saying he's not good enough or whatever. And obviously he still needs to work on the consistency in front of goal. I think he'd be the first to admit that, but he's he's his all-round player's got so much better, and he really suits the system that Dyche wants us to play. And his work ethic and ability in the air is just it's crucial to us. And I think it is going to be a bit of a miss on Saturday. I think, like I said, I think we're going to have to play a little bit differently. Not going to be able to, go as ugly as we did against, the likes of Burnley and Forest. We're going to have to mix things up a little bit, I think. Um, but like I say, I almost think we're going to kind of ride this wave of momentum. And, obviously, because like I said, it's only a few days after the derby, Goodison's still going to be buzzing on Saturday. And if we start well again, like we have against Forest, like we have against Liverpool, I think the crowd may very well like carry us over the line again. And like I say, one more win now, I think we can mathematically do it on Saturday if we beat Brentford and Luton lose to Wolves. I think it is like mathematically confirmed that we're safe, which is mental at this situation. A few weeks ago would have seemed almost impossible. And like I say, obviously there's still quite a few ifs and that, and then we have Luton after that, in which we can definitely wrap it up. Basically, I think no matter what happens this weekend, it's completely in our hands once we go down to Kenilworth Road now. So, like I say, it's a much stronger position, and yeah, that fills me with hope. Obviously, there's going to be a few absentees. Mikalenko, I don't think is going to be able to make it based on what Dyche just said. Coleman's still not ready yet, so it's looking like Young and Godfrey are going to keep their places. And like I say, I think we were all surprised, I'd say, by just how well they performed. Like I say, I wasn't happy when I saw that Godfrey was starting. I'll happily admit it, and yet, um, in a way, he probably saved us. I'd say. I think that interception when it was still 0-0, when Salah gets through and plays it across, and Godfrey just gets to. I think I had a Curtis Jones. I think he's about to tap it in, and it's literally one of them where he has to get to the ball first. It's an absolute tap in. He's definitely getting to it. Um, and yeah, I think if Liverpool take the lead in that game, I can't. Like I said, we never get anything once we go behind, and especially in a derby like that, I think that would have really knocked the stuffing out of us. So, like I say, a crucial bit of play from him, and he had a really solid game. He had a lot to deal with in Luis Diaz, who had a. It was probably Liverpool's best player. I'd say him and Alexander Arnold were probably Liverpool's best players. And the rest of them didn't really show up. We dealt with them pretty well, it's got to be said. But Diaz was causing us issues, definitely. But I still think Godfrey dealt with it pretty well. And then Young, I think we all kind of worried a little bit when Mikalenko got brought off at half time because we've seen how well he's managed to handle Salah in Derby's gone past. And we thought maybe having someone like Ashley Young on that side might awaken Salah a bit. Didn't happen, but So yeah, if they can keep up that level of performance that they did against Liverpool, against Brentford, then we don't have anything to worry about there, really. And then you look into the midfield, and like I said, I think the main thing for me is Ganagay's got to stay in there, and I think that's played a large part in us turning things around again recently, bringing him back in against Forest, and against Liverpool. He was one of the best players on the pitch in both games, and I think the fact he was brought off against Liverpool, which I thought was a pretty crazy decision at the time, even if it was for someone like Onana coming on instead of him. I think that was to ensure that he's able to start again on Saturday. Because obviously he's still not completely match fit. I think he'd missed a few games before he came back in for Forest, really. So he's still gaining match sharpness. And so I guess it was just a case of not wanting to overexert him too much on Dyche's part. So, like I say, he's got to start for me. And then I would bring back Gomez. I'd bring Gomez back in and start him again. Um, Drop the Corey back again like we did against Forest, and play Gomez slightly further forward. I'll say it's harsh on James Garner. I completely admit. I thought again he had a fantastic game against Liverpool. But I think for this type of game, I think having someone like Gomez could be quite important. I think it was against Forest. I think there's going to be times where we need that element of control and composure on the ball that he brings, um, and also potentially that ability to pick passes through and be a bit more creative and direct with it. You could even make a case for Onana doing that as well, but I don't know. There seems to be a couple of things maybe behind the scenes that we're not too aware of that Dyche shouldn't really trust him starting anymore. I don't know. Might be him that starts on Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But for me, it'd be Gomez. I think he showed against Forest that he suits us in this type of games. And then yeah, like I say, I think the rest kind of picks itself really. I mean, obviously, as I've addressed before, I have the feeling Calvert-Lewin's not going to play, and it'll be Chermiti that starts, and get a full game under his belt at last. At Premier League level, I think it would be very good for him, and hopefully, it'd be great to get a goal and get some confidence going for him. But like I say, we all work hard, and like I say, he won't quite prove that focal point. But as I say, I think we'll play things a little bit differently maybe on Saturday, and hopefully find a way that works to our strengths. And yeah, like I say, I'm feeling good. It's natural, obviously. I'm feeling good after a result like that, and like I say, I think it's going to be another good atmosphere on Saturday, hopefully carried through from the derby. And like I say, I think the derby really showed the importance of starting well. Forest did as well, to be fair. It really helped the atmosphere going on. It was nervy, but um, once you could see how well we were playing, and the fact we were going for it, once we went ahead, it was a really good atmosphere. And like I say, that starting early, I think, is quite important for that. If we start on the back foot a bit and let teams dictate the play too much. I think the fans get a bit too restless. So yeah, like I say, if we can continue doing that, I think it'll be another good day on Saturday. But yeah, that basically sums up my thoughts now, I think. So please leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment below giving your thoughts ahead of the Brentford game. Who would you start? Um, and yeah, I imagine you're all feeling exactly the same as me. Great after the derby. And yeah, subscribe to the Toffee Blues channel for more Everton content, and we will see you in the next video. Cheers.